Hello everyone, welcome to PSIR 300 Plus channel. Today we will be discussing a very important topic of international relation, that is why India and Europe have to go on the same footpath, you can say, or should go on the same lane. Because if that happens, both the countries will have very larger role to play in the geopolitics and geoeconomic of the world. Plus they can also have their own independent assertiveness with regard to their what role they are actually playing across the globe. Okay, so that is what we are talking about. A small discussion before going into the actual slides. I will give you the overview of the lecture. So the importance of India and Europe walking in step together. That is our article that has been there in the Hindu newspaper. That is what we are going to learn. Now in my last class, if you have seen PSIR mains theme number 11, I have given you the detailed account of India and UK bilateral trade agreement that was happened between the Prime Minister Modi ji and the counterpart of him in UK. Full detailed lecture we have already done. So apart from this, on this a particular question can come in the mains examination, plus the question may come in a very larger aspect, like why it should be like only India and UK. What if India forges very better relations with UK, with European countries, and in the sense European countries which are actually led by US most of the time, they don't have their individuality at this point of time. So if you talk about Russia, if you talk about Russia-Ukraine war, and if you talk about Iran and Israel or Palestine, if you talk about any of the conflicts with regard to China and Taiwan, etc., so and so forth, you'll always come across the hero of their particular countries, that is USA. So we talk about only America and we try to link with various geopolitical issues across the country with the USA only. But you can also see that in Europe there are larger countries and developed countries. We are having UK is there, Germany is there, France is there, Spain is there, Italy is there, Denmark is there, many other countries are there, and bigger tycoon giants like Sony Ericsson, Volvo, etc. belongs to Nordic countries here, which includes Finland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark. So we also have here, right? These countries, do you see in the news anytime? No, right? They all are actually hiding under the shadow of America only, and America has been making headlines across the world. So now we are able to see that these particular countries have shifted their geopolitical strategy. They have shifted. They don't just want to play under the shadow of America. The countries like UK, Germany, France, and the Nordic countries, they wanted to have better relations with rest of the world, and they are majorly following what eastward looking policy. Eastward looking policy. So the European countries are here and we are in the east. That's why they are actually forging a eastward looking policy. Remember this point. And here you can understand that they cannot connect with Russia, they cannot connect with China. So they have the major player in Asia apart from these two countries is India. So all of these countries are trying to make much and more better and deepening relationship with what? India. I hope this is clear to you. Okay. So the question here is why India and UK have to go, or not exactly the UK, India and Europe should walk on the same lane. Why? Because Europe have to assert independence with regard to their policy making, foreign policy, bilateral economic, or whatsoever the relations. They have to assert that themselves, that okay, they can do all by themselves and want to play a larger role in the geopolitics of the world. And they don't want to be under what? USA. On the other hand, India generally, you know that neither align with Russia nor align with USA. We always have what? Not this pole nor this pole. We don't want to be a part of a bipolar world. We always thrive and pursue and promote multipolarity. Multipolarity means We will side with this pole, this pole, this pole, this pole, or any pole of the world. We are ready to engage. We are ready to engage with regard to economy. We are ready to engage with regard to energy transition. We are ready to engage with regard to AI emerging. We are ready to engage with regard to critical minerals. We are ready to engage with regard to movement of men, material, etc. So and so forth across the various poles of the country, irrespective of sidelining with either USA or what Russia. We don't want to be in either of the pole. That is the main thing that we are actually forging. Clear? Yes, so the main themes of our discussion is basically Europe and India relations, how they are at this point of time, how they are sharing their economic perspective and investments, how they are shaping their political perspective and the way forward with regard to their energy, clean energy initiatives, and emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, deep learning, etc., so on and so forth. Okay, I hope this is all clear to you. Those who are watching me for the very first time, make sure that you join my mains PSIR classes. Okay, mains test series of PSIR mains mentorship. I am guaranteeing you that you will be scoring very, very high with regard to your counterparts, and we are aiming for 350 marks for sure. And the main aim of our PSIR teaching is all about that you scored so much in the optional that your mains cutoff should automatically thrive, and you should reach that particular threshold and you will also pass the mains. So optional driven mains cutoff, that is what I am looking for, because very, very limited syllabus, very, very awesome material we are having, very good writing practice you will be doing. So you have to score a lot in this particular area. I hope this is all clear to you. Let us go ahead. Okay, so just see a little bit small snapshot I will give you with regard to what is happening with India and Europe. Just see this kind of relationship or the agreements that we had with European countries. Jet engine advanced core technologies for the next generation aircraft. These are all we are getting from European countries only. Electric propulsion capability partnership for the future ready naval platforms. We are having these kind of agreements with the European countries only. Complex weapon system, precision guided munitions, again from the Europe. Cyber defense, resilience, and AI based security verify, again from there. Underwater warfare system, directed energy weapons, again from same. Maritime domain awareness and joint naval operations. So just imagine that these many importance, you can see that many of the areas are related to what defense, and related to what cyber, related to what AI, related to what maritime. Okay, so these are the important areas India is having investments and bilateral collaborations with the European nations. So very, very strategic and important areas of our country we are actually having with the European countries. So that's why it is very important India and Europe have to walk on the same lane in order to reach the shared values and shared goals of economic prosperity and global peace. Right. Now let us see one by one the importance of India and Europe working in step. How? So if you see Canada also want to reduce its dependency on US. Okay, want to look towards East, and considering India as one of the major partner, apart from the Khalistani issue, everything has been very well with regard to Canada and India. Remember this point. The Canada, United Kingdom, Germany and France, they are actually revising their foreign policies, and they are basically looking towards what East. I have already told you in my synopsis. Now, if you talk about Canada, Canada want to disentangle itself from the overt dependence on US. Now it is seeking more deeper relations with the eastern countries such as India. Apart from the Khalistani issue, Canada and India has enjoyed very good relationship, and Canada has always been very good promoter of investment, business, people exchange with what India. The UK has already exited the European Union. Okay, and the illusion that UK cannot go out of it, they have proved that they can go out of it. And the see, when you are in a group, you have to follow the group whatever they are deciding. Okay, and you have to make relations according to the group majority voting, right or wrong. But when you are alone, it is up to you that what kind of relationship that you want to forge. That is what has happened. The UK has exited the Brexit, Britain has exited the European Union and it is embracing renewed continental ties with other countries. The recent one, India UK trade deal, a very awesome deal. We have actually got a lot in exchange of giving less. If you see the Germany is also on the path of defense investments and industrial reinvention with the eastern countries like India. In this milieu, Europe is striving not only to stay relevant but also to become a pole of power in its own right. So, by doing all of this, the European countries wanted to be not aligning with any of the pole and trying to become one of the power center all by itself in the middle. Russia is here, US is here, in the middle we are having what? Another pole is in the making. Remember this point. After seeing the various aspects about the European countries, we have now learned that European countries are more so eager to have good relationship with the Eastern countries and forging their independent bilateral ties irrespective of what US tanglement. Okay, right. So if you see, India has always been long characterized by prudence and non-alignment. Prudence is nothing but always we are true, we are good, we are justified way. We just follow a non-alignment movement. We are always after what? Multi-alignment means we align with all the continents, we align with all the countries. We have to only see that our self-interest and a win-win situation for the both the countries should happen. We always pursue multipolarity in a world where many of the countries are siding towards US and siding towards what? Russia. Okay, India and Europe, both aspirational middle powers, find common cause also in championing a multipolar order. So Russia is here and US is here. India don't want to be a part of this pole and this pole, wanted to be a part of many poles. In the same way, European countries, which are always a middle players, not so super player, barring few, they are also very aspirational, just like India, and they don't want to be in the game of or the spider net of any of the pole, and they wanted to break free that from that particular traditional nuance and want to go ahead what India is doing. So India and Europe, both of them are now having a shared value. Okay, means value of sovereignty, value of what? Pursuing their own self-interest and shared goal. Shared goal is nothing but multi-alignment we are looking for. Then if you talk about India, European Union, what we have done from last so many years, let us talk about that. Our India and European Union has got various convergence in various fronts of the economic and political aspect. Okay, basically two important categories we are having with regard to India's relation with European Union. One is institutionally. Institutionally, India and European Union are expanding their long-standing dialogue in areas of shared and elusive competencies. We are doing from trade, technology to security and climate change. Bilaterally, we are also having ties with major member states of European Union, France, Germany, Italy. We are having independent bilateral relationship with them, and which we are actually doing very, very well. And India is having a very good increasing presence with regard to Nordic and Eastern European nations. So Nordic nations are those nations which are just above European, UK, which is nothing but Denmark we are having, Finland you are having, Norway you are having, and Sweden you are having. All of these are called as what? Nordic countries. So India is now, if you see India, what India is doing is, remember this point here, very important. Okay, this is India. India has recently had a very good African summit. African related, we are having relations are there, which I have discussed already on the channel. India is pursuing what? European country trade deals. India is also having good relations with Nordic. India is having good relations with Russia and Japan, and also what you are having relations with Australia, because Australia is a part of what? Quad exercise. Australia is a part of Quad exercise. And majorly India has very good relation with Canada. India has a very good relation with what? USA also. India has very good relation with Brazil. Okay, and some South American countries we don't do much, but still in Latin America we are doing less, but we are increasing our presence there over a period of time. But you see that India here, being here, is able to connect to many poles of the world. That's why we say that India is following multipolarity. Clear? Okay. So now if you see, India and European Union are having what? Booming trade and investments we are doing. European Union FDI in India increased by 70%. France alone increased by 373%. EU imports from India doubled in 3 years. Means EU has European Union countries has imported from India from last years that has been doubled. So India and EU has very good economic deepening ties. When you see the trade deal, India has fast tracked a trade deal recently with what UK, and our exports have got very 99% tariff reduction was there, along with a bumper package we have got with regard to India and UK in agriculture sector. Then one IMEC, India Middle Eastern Corridor, is there, also called as New Silk Road, India Middle East European Corridor, which passes through Iran, okay, and reaches what Europe. This a question has already come in UPSC 2024. We are in 2025 now. UPSC 2025, we got a question on this particular aspect. Okay, so now just imagine that we are now connecting, as being here, we are now connecting what European Union countries. Okay, so this IMEC is one of the proof that India want to deepen more ties with Europe, and Europe is ready for that. We are trying to link trade, energy, okay, innovations and enterprise. So first one is India and European Union are having what booming trade and investment. The second one is the landmark agreement between India and UK. The third one here we are having IMEC corridor with the European Union countries. Then we also have digital synergy. Public digital infrastructure, the UPI we have created by our own without giving any scope for the big tech monopoly. Like Apple has introduced UPI, and everyone is dependent on what only Apple, which belongs to US. We are not doing that. So we have created such a very good public digital infrastructure which is overthrowing what big tech monopolies. We are also developing cutting edge technologies. Cutting edge technologies are nothing but latest technologies are called as cutting edge technologies. So we are with European Union countries, we are developing cutting edge technologies, and we are doing research, building on technology security initiative, very important. Focus on future telecoms, AI, critical minerals, all of these I have already told you in my synopsis. So India and European Union countries are actually forging a relationship called as technology security initiative, where we are trying to work on what emerging and critical areas of the technology. Then people per mobility pact for students, scholars and scientists to and fro. We are able to go through what India, and we are able to reach the European Union countries very easily. Boost innovation, tackle unemployment problem of our country. Okay, if Indians go there and contribute, and brain drain happens there with regard to the high skilled people, obviously innovations will come in European countries. That innovations we can have here in the form of technology transfer, and by creating a very credible people exchange program, we can also tackle the unemployment in our country. Strategic security partnerships also we have got. Defense co-development Atmanirbhar plus Rearm to 2025. These two programs are basically aimed at what making India what self-reliant. Rearm 2025 self-reliant in defense, I'm saying. Okay, Rearm 2025. Here also we are making lot of collaboration with European countries with regard to what defense area, maritime area, space, cyber cooperation, and India and European countries are joining hand to stand against what terrorism and extremism, just like Khalistanis. Shared global role, both of them are having. Realistic custodians of rule-based order. India and European Union countries like Germany, France always said that we have to follow the rule-based order which has been there in all the major conventions across the world. That's why recently the France is now saying that we'll give the status of country to the Palestine, and many of the European countries are also raising their voice against the genocidal attacks of Israel on the innocents. So India also talks about that. India does not criticize Israel, but do say that India is with the Palestine and want two-state solutions. So India's perspective or India's view with regard to any of the global major issue and European countries perspective with regard to global major issues are quite similar. And we always talk about reforms with regard to UNO, WTO, Quad, AI governance, championing the global south also. India and Europe not just partners, but they are the co-architects of a very stable and inclusive world. New India Vision 2035 that reaffirms their shared commitment to unlocking the full potential of revitalized partnership between India and various other European countries. If you see the theme of India and European countries, we are shaping perceptions, not just policies. The power of perception lies very important. Strategic ties need more than policies. They require aligned public sentiments, like what Indian people thinks European people should also resonate with the same way. Okay, media narratives, political will, all this is important so that we can shape the perception of the world that we wanted to have a very secured, very peaceful world. Empathy and imagination are the key to sustaining international relationship that we have learned, and we have proved this empathy aspect with regard to India and Maldives, which I have discussed in the last class. India and European Union mutual misconceptions are there. Europe must move past the view of India as a reluctant or a reactive partner. India is not a reactive or reluctant partner. It's not like that we don't want to get into a relationship with them, but we also have obligation with regard to various self-interest and energy security aspects of our country. If European countries says that don't trade with Russia, don't take the oil, then our economy will suffer a lot. It does not mean that we are not listening to you. So you cannot call us reluctant. Okay, we are not a reluctant or reactive partner. We generally wanted a world where everyone thrives with equity and inclusivity. India must better understand Europe's internal socio-political and economic transition, and in that way, India should respond to it. Okay. Positive diplomatic signals has been there with regard to India and European countries. Raisina Dialogue, symbolic deepening engagement. The Raisina Dialogue is a multilateral conference organized by Observer Research Foundation in collaboration with Indian Ministry of External Affairs. It was launched for the very first time in 2016. At the time, Sushma Swaraj ji was also there. Has been a prominent platform for discussion on the pressing global issues with regard to security and economic issues. The name Raisina is derived from the Raisina Hill, the location of Indian government in New Delhi. Then if you also see German President Ursula von der, she has visited what Delhi, signaling high-level political intent. So just imagine that president is coming of a particular country to our country, means definitely they wanted to have a very deepening relationship with us. That's why they are coming here. India's outreach to Mediterranean and Nordic regions, a shift from conventional diplomacy. Many times we did not see that we have to engage with Mediterranean countries or to the Nordic countries. Nowadays, if you see, we are doing very well, good collaborations with regard to Nordic countries, which I've already told you, and the Mediterranean countries. Partnership of conviction is important. Both the India and European Union should have a very long and very strong conviction. The India-EU bond must evolve into one of the shared purposes and values, not just strategic convenience. So we should not be together just because we have to be together for the sake of global peace, etc. so and so forth. We should work on the shared values. Nothing but democracy means we should work towards the democracy. Security means we should work towards the security. Equity means we should be working towards the equity. Inclusivity means we should working towards inclusivity. Against terrorism means we both should work against terrorism. So we should be together because of the shared value, not because of a compulsion with regard to security convenience. The metaphor shift, not just a mirror, a window to a more stable, inclusive and equitable world. So that is why if all this happens very well between India and European, we'll move towards a new metaphor world where a window of more stable, inclusive and equitable world India and European Union can give. I hope this is all clear to you. If they ask you India's and same to same India's relation with European Union, how they are important to the world order, okay, how they can able to solve the global pressing issues, then all of these you have to write, and make sure that you don't forget to write that India's relation with EU should not be only of strategic or security convenience. They have to be on the basis of what shared value. I hope this is all clear to you. Take care. Do join my classes, mentorship and mentor series. You are going to do a lot better than any other counterparts and will thrive you the mains examination for sure. Take care. Bye bye.